Hello, welcome to another Draft to Digital webinar. This is a special sort of live stream where we are pre-recording. So all of you who are watching live right now, make sure that you leave your comments or leave your questions in the comments rather, because that's where the people who are hanging out and watching behind the scenes will be able to help you out. So we won't be taking questions live like we normally do on a live stream, but you can still get your questions answered right in the comments. And if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube or elsewhere, you'll be able to leave comments or questions in the comments there as well. And we'll always have people kind of tag and answer them for you. So, but otherwise, welcome. And also welcome to Tara Robinett. How are you, Tara? Thanks for joining me.
I'm good. I'm recovering from COVID. So if I'm a little scruffy, that would be why.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Everybody's recovering from something at this point, it seems like. Now we're gonna do a walkthrough. Now we've done these before, and so there's nothing all that different. But there's been a couple of updates here and there for D2D Print, and there's always people who don't necessarily know much about the service. So we're gonna give this some love today, and you are the person to walk us through this. You're our Sherpa through the mountains of D2D Print. So
that is so kind.
Okay, so let's get started. Let's not keep everybody waiting. I'm just going to bring your shared screen up real quick.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to kind of walk. I know you've done it, Kevin. You've got your own books in print, so I know you know as much as I do on this. But let's pretend like you don't. Let's pretend that you're a brand new author who's never encountered print before. And I kind of want to just walk you step by step through what you're going to see and some of the features that I don't think everyone knows about yet. We've tried to make this as simple as possible. I'm going to intro this as if this is a brand new product that you don't have uploaded on your dashboard yet. You can have a print version of your book available for sale without an accompanying ebook, which means if you've enrolled your ebook into some sort of exclusive membership program, KU, for example, you can still publish your print version wide. There's no rules against doing that. That's perfectly acceptable. So I'm going to present this to you as if this is a brand new product you are uploading to Draft to Digital for the first time. Super, super easy. It's just a series of a couple of steps that actually kind of walks you through everything we are going to need from you to produce a print-ready book.
Excellent.
Step one, My Books. You will always see My Books in the upper right corner of your screen. When you click on that, you can add a new book. Top center red button, Add New Book. One of the options is to start a print book. So again, we're presenting this as if you have nothing uploaded and this is a brand new product you are about to create. The first question is asking for a cover. This is a front cover only. This is the marketing thumbnail image. This is a point of confusion. You're doing a print book, so automatically you want to add a full wraparound jacket cover. That's not what we are asking for here. We are asking for a front cover that we are going to use to market your book. It's the thumbnail image. We're also going to use this image and create a full wraparound jacket cover for you. You can change that. You don't have to use that. But I want to show this to you because a lot of authors aren't even aware of the fact that we can do this for them. You don't have to hire a cover designer and pay money to have a full wrap created for your print book. We're going to do this for you using your front cover image. So step one is uploading the front cover image only. Again, if I already have a full wrap, I'll be allowed to change that on the cover image step. Title of the book. If your book is part of a series, you would add this here and the volume number. your publisher and your author name, search terms. Search terms, we're looking for words or phrases that describe your book. This particular book that I've written is a funny book. It's a memoir. It's about my grandfather. So I would enter my word or phrase. And once I enter it into the search terms field, I click enter and it populates in the box below. It's a book about memories. It's a book about my grandfather. And then if I want to rearrange those search terms, I can always drag and drop and say, actually, grandfather is the most relevant search term about this book. So I can always rearrange as needed. We're looking for about 5 search terms and up to about 25 characters a piece. They can be phrases, so funny stories. Funny story. The word or word and phrases. My book is appropriate for all ages. And then your BISAC. A BISAC is another word for genre. This is what the book's about, the genre of the book. This one is kind of a action, adventure, fiction stories that I wrote about my grandfather. Then I click Start Print Book. This is where I get into the meat of the book. It's asking me for a file. If I were creating this book from an existing product, an existing ebook, I have this option over here to use the ebook file, but I'm creating this brand new. There's no accompanying ebook, so that's why I'm being asked to upload a file. For print, you can upload a Word doc, DocX, ODT, RTF, or your own print-ready PDF file. We'll take any of those file formats. Grab my file. Description. I've got one typed up over here for being fast. Now, you can have Draft to Digital to create some introductory and promotional pages for you. We did this because frequently authors would say, I don't know what a title page should look like. I don't know what a copyright page should look like. So what we did was we built templates that will use the information you give us, your book title and your author name, and we build a title page or a copyright page or a dedication. Now, a dedication, you would have to tell me what you want this dedication to say. So when I click on it, I get a drop-down menu, and this book is for my family. Let's keep these memories alive. Also buy is a page that we can add to the front of your book, the back of your book, or both, beginning of book, end of book, or both. And it's going to include all of the other books written by this same author. So it's just an also buy for me, Tara Robinett. New release notification sign up. This is letting fans and friends sign up to be notified every time you write a new book. And I will click on all of these just so I can show you what they look like. About the author, I'm going to leave that blank. Give me a free Draft to Digital ISBN, or I want to use my own ISBN. This cannot be changed. Once I click Save and Continue here, my selection is locked in. So make sure if you're using your own ISBN, you provide it now. I have a lot of authors who come back and say, I went ahead and uploaded and published with the intent of buying my own ISBNs later on. That doesn't work. You want to get your ISBNs up front or use one of our free D2D ISBNs, your choice. Kevin, interrupt me if you have any questions or want further explanation on any of this.
I did want to point out, because there's always questions about the D2D ISBN, and
yes.
There's no problem with having a D2D supplied ISBN. It doesn't
Absolutely
mean we
not.
own your book. It doesn't mean we have any rights to your content
Absolutely
or anything
right.
like that. So, yeah, just wanted to assure people.
It's just a value add for using our service. We supply them to you for free. So step 2 is where I can see the inside of my book, and I can also do quite a bit of editing as far as setting up table of contents, distinguishing page numbers, headers, footers, things like that. If I spot a typo, I need to go back to my original Word document and correct that typo and re-upload. So I'm not editing the file from this page, but I can do quite a bit as far as how the file looks. So step 1 is asking me, what paper type do I want my book printed in? Do I want it in cream paper or white paper? This is an important decision that you're making here, because the paper type width varies. So depending on which one you select, it's going to adjust how wide your spine is. Meaning, if you're trying to upload a specific PDF file template for your cover, you need to have these inside details determined first. So I can choose between cream and white paper. I can choose my trim size. If I make an alternate choice, I need to click Apply Changes to see that update on the screen. These are the current trim sizes that Draft2Digital supports for print. However, we fully intend to add additional trim sizes soon. That's on our to-do list because we've had a lot of requests, but this is the current option and selection. So I'm going to use a 5x8. I'm going to ask Draft2Digital to build a table of contents for me. I don't have to go through and do this myself. I don't have to go through and try and figure out what page each chapter heading is going to start on. I can click a button and have Draft2Digital do that for me. I'm going to click Apply Changes to see those updates. So it's actually re-preparing my PDF file with a 5x8 trim size, and it's adding a table of contents for me. And you can see the preview above is out of date. So it does let you know you've made a selection and now you need to refresh to see. My page count went up because I chose a smaller trim size. Here is the title page that I asked it to create for me. Here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit just to make this a little bit easier to see. Here is the copyright page. These pages are not editable, but they display all of the information that you provided when you entered in the metadata for your book. Here's my also by pages. So I've got several other books that I've written. And here's a table of contents created for me with page numbers that correspond correctly. Here's my dedication. Oh, go ahead.
Can I ask a quick question?
Uh-huh.
Regarding the table of contents.
Yes.
If I look and there's some problem, like
yes.
something's being listed as a chapter I didn't intend to be there, or vice versa, what do I do to fix it?
Okay, so that's a great question, and that comes up pretty often. You want to be sure in your original document file, your original Word document file, that you have distinguished all of your chapter headings in a uniform manner. One of the best ways to do that is using the heading 1 style in Word. But another way of doing that is just setting all of your chapter headings in a bold, larger font.
Okay.
If you have other text in your book that is also bold and larger, like a sign on the door red and it's a bold, larger font, then that could be misconstrued as a chapter heading. So just pay attention to everything that you put in the bold, larger font. Make sure it's only the chapter headings. Or if you have additional text that's going to be bold or larger or something like that, then instead use the heading 1 style just for your chapter headings. But if something is missing when you get to this page and something is missing, that means our system is not detecting it as a chapter heading. Go back to your Word doc and double check. Did that header, did that line of text get identified as a chapter heading? Is it bold? Is it larger? Oftentimes, let's say you've centered all of them and you've done that consistently. The one that's not being detected, the author might have gone in front of the beginning of the text and hit the space bar multiple times to push the line of text to around the middle of the page, but it still left aligned text. It's just visually falling somewhere in the middle of the page. Right. That's not centered. So you just want to make sure you're being consistent. And if something is missing, that means it was not consistently formatted like all of the rest of the chapter headings.
All right, good tip.
If you decide to include your own chapter, your own table of contents, you want to make sure that the chapter headings line up with the page numbers. We often get books that are uploaded and it'll say chapter 1 falls on page 7, and it doesn't. It falls on page 9. So just if you're doing it yourself, be very careful that you have correctly identified your chapter headings and the page numbers they fall on. So this is the dedication that I asked Draft2Digital to create for me. And then we get into the actual meat of the book or the chapters themselves. You can see over here, you've got an assortment of template styles. D2D simple is nothing. It doesn't add any flourishes to the chapter headings, and it doesn't add any flourishes to the scene breaks. But if you look through here, you have quite a few choices to add style to your book. So I'm on D2D simple, and you can see there's nothing, no glyph or image or artwork to indicate this is a chapter, the beginning of the chapter. If I were to switch it to something else, let's say modern watercolor, I have to, my preview's out of date, so I've got to apply changes to see that update. And you'll see that you've got an assortment of template styles that you can use to give your book a lot of depth and design capabilities. It just looks really nice. We have a bunch to choose from. Some other options that you have access to is start my page numbers on. So if I want page 1 to be the title page, I can say start the numbering on the title page. Or it lists my chapters and it says, where do you want page 1 to fall? Header text location, I can select to put it at the top, or I can move it all together. My book has, for books with a longer title, removing that chapter, that running heading is an option for authors, just so that it's not kind of bumping into the actual text of the book. You can put your page numbers at the, number page location at the top or the bottom. So you can have it at the top of the pages or at the bottom of the pages. And then for chapter heading pages, you can also say, put the chapter numbers at the bottom. Often people don't like it at the top because it kind of crowds the actual chapter heading. There's some scene breaks where I can add drop caps. I can add phrase caps. I can start all my chapters on the right-hand side. So there's quite a bit of editing that you can do to the file and make it look unique and exactly the way you want it to look. I'm going to stick with what I've got just for time constraints. I wish I could show you each of these, but I encourage everyone to get in here and play around with it and see what all these options can do and how they look. The next step is the cover. We often have authors writing in saying they're hiring a cover artist and they need this cover artist to create the full wraparound jacket cover. So they need information from us. They need to know what their spine width is and things like that. Without knowing all of the details of your book, your page count, the paper type that you're writing in, the trim size you've selected, I cannot give you that information. But you can upload your file and you're not asked for a cover until you've entered all of that data. At this point, You remember I uploaded a front cover image, a marketing image, and Draft to Digital will take that image and will create a full wraparound jacket cover for me. This is what you're seeing right here. I have tons of editorial control over this, but it's an option for you to use. This is something you don't have to hire a cover designer if you have the front cover image already and ready to go. But if you are working with a cover designer and you plan to upload your own files, then when you reach step 3, we've created a template that will give you all of the details you need to then provide your cover designer. So I'm going to download this template and show you. It's going to take all of the information I've already entered about this book. It's going to take my trim size, my paper type, my page count, and it's going to tell me exactly how wide to make the spine. It's going to tell me exactly where to leave space for a barcode to be added. And this is a template you can then provide to your cover designer, who will know exactly how to make the cover of your book for you. Or
now, if there was no, is there a requirement that they must upload the thumbnail image at that step, or can they move through the whole process without doing that?
The only way they can move through that process is if it's a pre-order. So they're still kind of building out the details. But yes, we need that front cover image, that marketing image. And you should know it can be changed at any time.
Okay.
You're not locked in.
Right.
You can upload, and as your book progresses or as you get the files from your cover designer, you can edit. So that is not locked in.
Okay. The use case I'm thinking of is, someone's hiring someone to design the cover. They may not have a thumbnail image yet.
Yes.
So they may be able to move through this process.
Absolutely right. Until you click all the way to step 5,
right.
You have a draft built on Draft to Digital. So nothing is sent out there. Nothing is being printed. Nothing is outside of your control. This is a draft until I finalize. So you can upload a placeholder image, whatever you need to do to get to step 3, to get to your template where you can then share all of the details with your cover designer. And then at any point, you can start back at step 1. So you are not locked in or locked out of making changes. Not until You've actually hit the button that says publish my book. So on this cover, this is the one that Draft to Digital generated for me. What the system does is it takes the predominant front cover image and it bleeds it across to the spine and the back cover. I've got a print cover description here. I can edit this. I can say, that's not enough words. I should probably add more. Or I can say those words aren't big enough. Let me show you how to make this bigger. I can increase the font size on the back cover. That's this right here. For a word, a paragraph, a line of text, or the entire thing. I can adjust it however I want. If I want the entire group of text to be larger, I highlight it. So that's a step that is often missed. Highlight what you want to change. Highlight it. And now I'm going to increase the font size. And I'm going to do something radically bigger just so you can visually see the difference. Apply changes. And I'm going to scroll back up and you'll see it's recreating this cover with the update that I just made. So now that is radically bigger. And obviously might be too big, but I just wanted it to be highly visible to you. Perfect. I can change the font to something more artistic or scripty. I can bold, italic. I can do all of these different things. I can even change the color. So this is black with white text. You can see my text color is white. My background color is black. I can change all of this. I have control over all of this. If I think the text might look better in a bright yellow, I can do that. Let's apply changes and see how that looks. You can see this warning here. The description's too long. Okay, I fixed it because I reduced the font size. So now I've put it in a yellow, scripty looking font. I could change the background color. I can add a back cover author image. So I can add an image of myself, an about the author section. I can upload a publisher icon for the spine. A lot of authors have a publisher icon. They're called colophon.
Yeah.
So I can add something like that. I can add my back cover biography. Tara loves her pets. I don't really know. So let's see what all I've done here. So here's my image. I added an image of myself. I added a publisher icon to the spine. Let's see if I can zoom in here and show it to you. Well, I picked a fuzzy one, but there it is. You get the point. Here's information about me. Again, I can edit, I can manipulate sizes, I can do whatever I want to do. The spine text, I can manipulate that. I can say, I think my name should be proper capitalization. So now it's in proper capitalization. So the point is you can really take control over and edit and refine the way that your cover is going to look. This is something we leave in your hands, but that we built for you because so many authors, I can't even begin to tell you how often I hear, I don't know how to get a cover. I don't know where to get a cover. I don't know how to make a cover. Yeah. So let us do the legwork for you, but still give you a lot of editorial control to make your book look exactly the way you want it to look. So once I am happy with this cover, again, let's say I just needed to get to this point so I can upload a custom wrap cover. Absolutely can do that. Right now, you click browse, you select the cover that your cover designer sent you. In this one, if you're doing it this way, we need a PDF file. We can accept PDF or PNG files, and you'll just upload it here. It will replace this marketing image that we built for you with your custom cover. So always an option to do that, and you're welcome to do that. But once you're happy with your cover, the next step is moving to the price, where you will price your print book. Our books are being sent through the Ingram Print Distribution Network, which includes Amazon and all of Ingram's print channels. I can price my book here. I can manage territorial prices, so I have control. I have control over what I price in Australia, Canada, Europe, and Great Britain. It shows me my royalties, and then it just asks me to confirm that I have the rights. Until I move to step 5, again, this is nothing more than a draft that exists on our website. So you can do all of this and stop if you're working with someone to build your cover for you. Otherwise, you can move forward. I'm the original creator of this book. We ask you to confirm that you have worldwide rights. And we ask you to recognize that once you click publish your book, we'll give you one free change to your print files. And that's anything you need to change, cover, interior, both, all, whatever, every 90 days. And then the final step is approving your proof and publishing your book. You can order a digital proof or you can order author copies of your books. The digital proof is a $30 copy. It costs $30. It comes with expedited shipping. We can usually get those out to you within, once printed, within a couple of days. Or another option that we have available is to order author copies of your book. There's no limit to how many of those you want to order. You are charged at cost. So just the cost to print the book and then the cost to ship them to you. For most books, you're looking at anywhere from $2 to $5. Bigger books might be $6, but it's very inexpensive, and you can order as often as you like and as many as you like. So that is something that we've got set up. One of the questions that comes up pretty often is, will those proofs have the word proof splashed across the page? No, they don't. They are finished product like what any buyer who purchases a copy of this book would receive. So you can use those for giveaways. You can use them for conferences, for marketing purposes, family, friends, however you would like to use them. That's completely up to you. And that is the Draft2Digital print system.
D2D Print in a nutshell. All right.
In a nutshell.
That is outstanding. A couple of questions then, just so that since I've got you here.
Absolutely.
What are some best practices that authors should keep in mind?
Best practices. I'm so glad you asked this question. A couple of things I want you to remember. If you're using a Draft2Digital ISBN, let me back up a step. Your ISBN is not required in the interior of your print book. However, if you include an ISBN, make sure it's the correct ISBN. The number of files that I get with an ISBN in there that is not associated with this book is crazy. So if you include an ISBN, make sure it is the correct ISBN. Now, your files belong to you. If you're using a Draft2Digital ISBN, that is our ISBN. I don't actually recommend putting your ISBN on the copyright page, just because you can then take your files. You can download these files from our website with all the flourishes, all the beautiful images and glyphs that we've added for you, perfectly formatted. And you can use that however you want to use that, on any site, on any service, anywhere you want. You own your files. When you add our ISBN to the copyright page, it gets more complicated. So it's not required, leave it off. But if you do include it, make sure it's the correct ISBN. The next thing I would recommend, don't include paper claims or manufacturing claims inside your book. And by that, I mean printed on 100% recycled paper or printed in the United States. Those are almost always true, but we cannot guarantee that. We've gone through paper shortages where we had to switch paper sources, and that's happened a couple of times now. I cannot guarantee that your print will always be printed in the United States of America. I can't guarantee that. During the holidays, the printers get very backed up and very busy, and they have to outsource. So don't make manufacturing claims or paper claims that may not necessarily be true. And then the only other best practice I would say, something that will keep your book from being held up, is don't include buy now on your book descriptions. Your book description should be a description of your book and not a sales pitch. So I've seen the print vendor hold books up for that reason. So just best practice, don't include buy now in the book descriptions. I think those are the top things I've already mentioned. If you're going to include your own table of contents, make sure the page numbers are correct. I think those are some of the most common things that we have to flag and send back to the author to correct. So just proofread, just look through the file and make sure it looks exactly the way you want it to look and you're happy with it. Make sure every chapter is there. The number of files I get where the chapters are misnumbered. Yeah. It's chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 3 again, chapter 4. It's real easy to do because you're editing, and I think as an author, you almost stop seeing what's there, and you start seeing what's in what you intend or what's in your head. So fresh eyes to take one more look through and just make sure all the chapters are there in the correct order, represented, consistent. It'll go a long ways to saving you any time and trouble with this.
And of course, if you get into a little trouble out there, we are standing by. Tara and her team will help you in any way that they can. All right. Well, that was a fun walkthrough. I think we've covered everything. So if people want to try this out, the best place, you correct me if I'm wrong, Tara, but go straight to draft2digital.com and log into your account or create a brand new account if you don't already have one.
Yes, you got it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's going to wrap us up for this webinar. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope that if you had questions that you were asking them in the comments, people will probably still be lingering around for a bit if you want to drop something in there. Make sure that you like, share, and comment and subscribe on this content on YouTube and elsewhere. That really helps us out. We appreciate that. And make sure that you bookmark d2dlive.com for future webinars, live streams, anything that we do live. We do a little countdown on that site. So make sure you're doing that, and you'll know about these webinars that are coming up in the future. And we're going to try to do like a webinar Wednesday at least once a month. So we're out here to take care of you. So, all right. Thank you again. We're going to wrap it up. We'll see you all next time.
Bye, everyone.